Good morning, my dear friends. When creating a garden, I usually think about creating various zones in the garden. I would like to create focal points in the garden or some kind of dividers. There are many elements that can be used for this. Many years ago, I decided to introduce wood into my garden. And today I would like to tell you about such wooden elements for the garden which serve various functions, and I would like to show them to you. Because in my garden, wood has been there practically from the very beginning. When planning the garden, I didn't have a clear vision from the very beginning of what it would look like. Only after a while did the idea come up to divide the garden into different zones. And wooden fences in various configurations and patterns work perfectly for such separation. A few years ago, I decided that the first fences to appear would be the ones called myosa, the ones with flat boards. I didn't want those fences with the English lattice, although later I warmed up to them a bit. But I wanted them to have this vertical arrangement because my garden is based on all kinds of squares. And I found such a fence at the company Jagram. And from that moment on, I've actually been loyal to Jagram, and all these wooden elements I have are from Jagram. The guys from Jagram helped me a lot when I had to choose different elements, so that's an extra plus that convinced me to go with them. I divided my garden into different zones. Here is a fence that separates my vegetable area from a more rustic zone. Additionally, I arranged it so that below I have wooden planter boxes, which are also part of the vegetable garden. And there's an entrance to this whole area under an arch like this. Here it's an arch, but all kinds of pergolas, arches, and trellises can also be used to support plants. And in a moment, we're going to one of my most famous plants in this garden. So, to the rose whose shoots are wrapping around a pergola that I have in another part of the garden. Remember, you can use elements like these to build any shape you want, because here I just wanted to fit a pergola to the size of my wall. And it was made from individual trellises and beams, and here's the thing. These are the first trellises, which were the so-called English trellis, and I was persuaded by Jagram to try out such a trellis because apparently roses do really well on it. And they were right. And that's how I got used to it. So the next element also has the English trellis. But I'm talking about these elements to show you what cool solutions you can have in your garden. Because a garden has to be useful, cozy. And wood absolutely gives that coziness. Jagram is my partner in the Wow Garden project, and this year they will also be our partner. There will be gifts from Jagram. And the very first gift is that you actually get a 10% discount on all products on the Jagram website. You just need to click the link in the description of this video, and there the 10% discount is automatically applied. So take a look. Besides, links to all the products I'm showing will be in the description of this video. A classic element in most gardens are plant supports. And this kind of wooden obelisk is a great support both for clematis and other plants. It often serves as a focal point, something that is concentrated in one place and draws the eye. And the very shape of such an obelisk itself attracts the eye very well. So if you want to divide up your garden, obelisks are a great solution. Here in this larger form there are still smaller ones. They're arranged a little differently, so everyone can adjust it to their needs. And here is this English trellis, which characteristically appears in gardens from the British Isles. When it comes to focal points, the absolute number one in my garden is a focal point in the form of a bench. This is my pondering spot. Some of you may already know that I call this place my pondering spot. It's a place where I ponder different things, and all kinds of benches and pergolas with vertical elements. Well, that's a great way to create a relaxation zone for yourself, where you can sit. You can use both larger and smaller elements. But remember, it's the wood that really brings warmth to the garden. So if you're a fan of these warm elements, you definitely need to incorporate wood. And actually tell me, do you like wood in the garden, or would you rather go for other elements like metal or maybe some kind of plastic? For me, as I mentioned, the whole adventure with wooden elements in the garden started with the fence. With miłość. I was looking for the right form and I found it. At the very beginning, I didn't even want to screen myself off. I just wanted to make a background for the plants, because in a fresh garden, a young garden, it's hard to have any background right away, especially when you're starting a garden in a place where there's nothing. And that's exactly how it was for me. So this fence is a background for the plants for me. Before any bigger specimens appear, that's how it looked. And it worked out well. As you can see, it looks nice here. It can also be used for partitions as well as for separating and creating such a background. But how can you create some privacy in your garden using wood and different elements? All right, let's go to my terrace. Because there I'll show you a great solution you can use on your terrace or balcony. How do they say it in the most popular language in the world? This solution is a real game changer. So it's something that made even small spaces able to offer privacy. The Venetian system from Jagram is a system that allows us to properly screen off a terrace or balcony space by matching different elements. A system consisting of several elements of different widths, of the same height, which allows us to build a partition here in a louvered style. I have it, look, so that it separates this vegetable section for me. What's more, I also have it mounted on the wall to add a decorative element. It works very well, because look, I have a little window there. I joke that it's a special window for the wisteria. The wisteria was here before. It used to grow here. It was a bit difficult to get around it and untangle it. So we made a little window. That's exactly what this system allows, because these are modules that we can connect together. Very simple. By the way, when I was assembling it and when it was being made here, there's a whole video about it on my channel. You have the link in the video description, and it also appears somewhere here. So this is a solution for people who have spaces that aren't very big, where you can't really put up a fence, but for smaller spaces like these. Let me know if you even knew about this kind of solution. And remember, you have the links to the products in the description of this video with a 10% discount from me and from Jagram. And if you want to have, for example, some additional small elements, because there are plenty of them available, like some seed trays, composter, well, Jagram gives such gifts to the participants of the Wow Garden project. So I encourage you once again to sign up for the project, because we're starting in mid-May. And I want to come to you and see what kind of gardens you have. At the end, my dear friends, I've saved a real treat for last. The product you ask me about most often on Instagram. This is the largest structure from Jagram in my garden. A structure that's different from all the others because it's rounded. As you can see, I usually have rather angular things, and once again I was persuaded to get it, and I don't regret it. Luna, because that's the name of this product, works great above my little patio. Normally the fire pit also stands here. So it's a great finishing touch and a great focal point. Speaking of those focal points, well, it's really a great product for creating a zone somewhere in the distance. Whether it's a relaxation area or right by the fire pit, for me it works really, really well. Luna is one of my best decisions in this garden. My dear friends, write in the comments, Which of these products do you like the most, and which one would you like to have in your garden? Think it over, watch it again. And don't forget about Wow Garden. Join me for the next episode.